is on, so... Delaney has to move out of the way.
Good evening, sim racing fans. We are back for your simrigs.com V8 Supercars series here on SRW TV. This is season 3, race 1 of 2023. And myself, Nathan ShiBBy Howard, and Thomas Preech Riley are back for another season. Huge numbers turning out in our registrations. We have had 44 drivers put their names down, with 34 out on track tonight. So I'm glad you are all back with us again. And of course, Thomas, I am glad you are in the comms box with me, mate. Did you enjoy the little break that we had there?
Oh, mate, I've been flat chat, but I am so keen to be back here commentating on our SimRigs V8 Supercars Amateur Series. It's been a little while, but if the grid size is anything to go by, we are in for a ripping season.
Oh, an absolute ripping season, mate. My fingers are going to be going like crazy tonight, trying to capture all that action out there for your viewing pleasure, while Thomas does all the stats for us. So this is Belle Isle, but a different layout, correct?
It is Belle Isle. It's an old layout compared to what they actually race these days in IndyCar. This is a 3 3/4 kilometre circuit. There are quite a number of tricky corners. The run down into turn 1 and 2 is off camber and then back on camber, and it's all over the shop. And then the big long run down the back straight and then through the staircase section, which will suit these cars very, very nicely, expecting a lot of second gear corners there. And then quite a long middle section with a lot of load on the outside side, on the right side tyres, heading up to a difficult braking zone and then coming back around to finish the lap. I'm expecting some action. I'm expecting some overtakes down into turn 3. But mate, I'm just keen.
Oh, mate, I'm super keen. We got this broadcast kicked off a little early just so we can introduce the series, of course, and ourselves again after this 3 weeks break. We've already got Ryan Shrives and Paul in the chat out there. We can see the chat. We do love having a chat with you guys, especially if we get a little bit of break in the air, but with the amount of cars on track tonight, I think Thomas and I are going to find it pretty hard to keep up with chat and what's going on track. But again, thank you so much for joining us for season 3 here on SRW TV. And tonight's round sponsor is our mates at Warren and Brown Tools. Go and check them out. Over 40 years in Australia, Australian-made quality tools. And of course, we can't forget simrigs.com for all your sim rig needs. They have come on board for our V8 Supercars AM and our Pro-Am series again. So another massive shout out to simrigs.com for joining us with our V8 Supercars series. So we are pumped. It looks like everybody has had enough of practice. I don't see anybody on track. There has been a 2-hour practice session right before this, so it does look like it is everybody's pulled into the pits and they are waiting for this qualifying session to kick off. Our race director tonight is Tyson McAvoy. He will be running our drivers over right now with how it's going to happen. There is a good chance it will be a split qualifying, possibly the fastest, 15-ish, and then maybe the slowest 15-ish. It will be up to him to make that call, but my gosh, that is a lot of cars, a lot of new names too, mate. So I'm really interested to see how some of our top drivers from last season are going to go with all the new faces joining up, and also seeing how good the new faces that had jumped into this AM series, which last season was by far the best racing across the board.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Series champion Joe Mahoney sitting pretty up there at the top during practice. Tim Nicol, who was in with a shout last season, slots himself into what is P3 at the moment. Let's just say it's P2 in class. So those two, I think, will go at it again. Cowie is a name that is synonymous with the supercars and with SRW now. So I'm expecting to see him continue running. Liam Tipping, who came in for a win on debut and then dipped. He won at Nürburgring. He's back as well. Scotty Van Loon's in there. Lots of names looking down the order that I'm going to expect to see fighting towards the front. And I'm very excited to see what some of these new drivers can bring. There's a name there, Chris Burridge, who I haven't seen before, and Stephen Kennedy, Darren Crosby. I think I've seen his name before. Matt Andrews.
So, yeah, Stephen Kennedy used to race with us a while ago. He's just come back. Darren Crosby used to race with us as well. He's just come back, but definitely Lorne Mackay. Man, we're going to stuff up so many names.
Lorne Mackey?
Yeah.
McKee?
McKee. Not sure, but plenty of new names out there. Really, really excited, mate. I just, come on, qualifying. Come on. 1 minute to go. Oh, man. I am absolutely
hurry up and get on with it. Come on.
Pumped. I know. What I might do is actually take this opportunity to shout out our qualifying. Thanks to Racecraft for sponsoring our qualifying session tonight, as well as their fastest lap is sponsored by Racecraft. Thank you so much for Racecraft Simulations for being on board with SRW again this season. Huge shout out to our stream sponsors, Grim Industries, home of the V8 coffee table. Tempting Sweets, to get those sweet, sweet treats from. Rare Spares, new sponsor come on board. Massive name coming out here and showing their love for sim racing world, as well as not formally announced yet, but you might see their logo spinning around in that bottom corner. Shannon's have come on board to also help support SRW TV. So thank you so much to Shannon's coming on board. Also Warren and Brown and Simrigs, absolute legends, all of you. And can't forget all the drivers on track as well. Without them, we don't have a series. And all you guys out there watching our broadcasts every week, we do it all for you and those drivers out there. So let's get some cheering and some chatting in the chat tonight for everybody as we head to our Racecraft qualifying session. It is ticking over the practice. Man, I'm on edge. Looking forward to this. Let's get into it, Simon Hayes says, and Stuart Barkley says, let's go, Joe. Joe Mahoney will be the first out of the pits. I believe the pit lane camera is not happy. I may be a little bit rusty. We probably missed them all coming out of the pits, but there is a lot, and as the track map pops up, you start seeing those cars. Look at that track map.
Oh my word.
yeah, this is going to be full on tonight, and I absolutely can't wait. As who's out in front? That is Mahoney. Mahoney was the first to get out of the pits. He is last season's champion. He will be wanting to take that on. Oh, he didn't take the number one. He kept with his 36.
A bold call.
Yeah, I thought you might have taken the number one. If you are the series champion from last season, you do get the opportunity to run the number one on your car, but it does look like Joe has stuck with the 36. Might be his lucky number. Plenty of names out there. As we come back around the track, we will jump on board with Mahoney for the first lap. We'll get Thomas here to give you guys a bit of a rundown of what we should be looking at as these cars head around this very tight and wall-filled track.
Coming through the final corner now. It's only a short start-finish straight down into turn one. Keeps it in fourth gear, up over the curb. His middle of the track as he comes back to the left-hand side. Runs it back out to the wall, staying in fourth gear, getting all the rotation. And this long second straight down into turn three. Watch the bumps. Braking just about the tree on the left-hand side, nice and late. Down third gear, hammer that inside curve as best you can, get the rotation. Another right-hander coming up now into the staircase section. Up over the curb there, bit of over rotation into the dip, brakes, doesn't want to ride too much of that curve just given the contours on the corner. fast through the corner that opens up. Gives me a lot of turn 6, turn 7 at Adelaide, that corner. Wide entry, braking a little bit while Stoney's in and trying to track the braking zone up over that curve. With the left-hander through this infield section, I'd say we'll call it tonight. Lots of load going through the right-hand side tyres now as you're trying to turn, modulate the throttle, get back on the brakes. Don't want to clip too much of that curve at all. There's a dip on exit there, the track falls away, so watch the rear tyres and some more spin. Last critical corner, modulate the throttle now. Get back on it, slide all the way up to the wall. Joe will set the first lap for us. Comes across the line. And it's a 129.517. Not going to see anyone who can jump up. Tim Nichols slots himself off and is slow, and he's quickly eclipsed by Stephen Kennedy on 129.8.
These times just got to flow in fast now. Everybody must have got a really nice, clean first lap.
Looks like there's good spread throughout the field at the moment, which is nice. Everyone's got a little bit of track to play with.
It does look like they released the whole field. They did. They said, field, go for it. You're going to be out there racing against each other tonight. You're not going to split the qualifying because you guys need to learn to race around each other. That's what this AM series is all about. And qualifying is part of that racing. See Mr. Andrew Cowan. And I need a bigger screen for all these names. Andrew Cowan for Performance Sim Racing. Beautiful purple and black looking Toyo Sim machine. Call him your average sim racer. He calls himself the average sim racer, but I'm telling you what, this man can drive. Scotty Rattler Van Loon just jumped up into 6th place for Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing.
Team names now.
Yeah, and there's going to be some new ones as well. So, Petar Pavlovich, Century Motorsports driver.
Pacific Esports?
Yeah, Pacific Esports now. Yeah, so I feel like it may be a reboot of Century. Very similar sponsors, or if not the same sponsors. The only thing they are missing is the KFC. So, but great to see him in a team again.
I'm glad. I'm changing my ways. I'm getting back on the fitness bandwagon as we jump to him now. First lap was a 31.3. This one will be a little bit quicker. Just waiting to see what this time when he comes across the line now. Not quite quicker. Well, it was just invalid.
Do it.
So, track limits will be one thing to watch here, especially as you pile over some curbs. Not so much on the exit of corners, but definitely over the curbs, especially here at turn 3. Use all the exit there, and then you've just got contacts with walls that will be the other one. But they will be, should in most cases be a 0x, but that will lead your lap time in the session.
Matt Andrews.
Pressure on.
New driver. Really cool looking privateer / hire me livery. That is really well done. On the front of his bonnet, it says, "You could be here." Privateer, and then on the rear of it says hire me. That's
great. That's well played. That's I love that effort. It's a nice livery. Definitely bold. Will stand out on the grid. The eyes in the headlights. Oh, it gives a bit of sideways action, just really showing off the hire me on the rear wing.
He's already up in the 7th place, provisional 7th at the moment, doing qualifying for a new driver coming in. So I don't know what his experience is outside of sim racing world, but I tell you what, I actually look forward to hopefully talking to a lot of these new drivers as well, and getting some background information on them, where they've come from, anything like that to help us get to know our drivers of the league for the broadcast. So. At 129 spread down to 132s at the moment. Steven Sinkovic up into 21st. Oh, we've got a bit of a queue on that corner there as we watch Steven come through. I know he's been doing a bit of practice over the last couple of days, and he managed to get his times down to a 129. Right, so if he can do that, he'll be up there in the top. Just got to keep that consistency. But do have some spotters out there for the team tonight. I don't know where to start with these drivers. There is just so many. Anybody out there in the chat want to see one of your drivers do a lap? Let us know. We will be keeping an eye on those times. The timing table is just everywhere. So guys, I am pumped for this race.
Yeah, definitely. The track temp at the moment is 24 degrees, so we're in a really good position for grip for these cars. Not a whole lot of UV on the circuit. Not that I know if that has much effect, but definitely the track temperature, you know, the hotter it is, the more slippy it gets. These drivers, especially with all the bumps, they would have been tuning their setups in the lead up. Of course, one of the big things at the moment is that these series, most of them will line up with, well, at least for the supercars anyway, they'll line up closer to the official calendar, which I think is a great move. It just means that people can race on a Tuesday night, the AMs especially, in a series, location where they don't get affected by safety rating. They just have some fun. It's really good proper racing, and they can jump in during the week, do some practice, and then in the officials, and jump back across to the if they are taking part on Sunday nights, they can jump in nice and easy.
Yeah, we actually put it to our drivers at the end of last season. We decided that instead of letting the admin and the series admins pick the tracks that the drivers were going to race, we put it to our league and said, hey guys, it's your turn to have a pick of what tracks you guys want to race. So this whole calendar was made around all of our drivers' picks. So absolute great tracks. I think some of them are going to be a bit tight with the amount of cars we have on track, but the drivers have made the pick. They are locked in. The calendar is confirmed. So these will be the tracks we're racing. And
I think it's a great spread of tracks too.
Oh, there's some solid tracks. And coming, I think that's the way to do it, right? Like, give it to the drivers occasionally and say, hey man, hey guys, you wanna race some tracks? Let us know what you want to race. Let's put it to you guys, and you can pick it. It's way easier if we do that. Got my sons in the chat.
He is.
Timothy and Joshua. I got both of them in there. So Sneaky Rabbit is my other son.
I know Sneaky Rabbit. He's been in the past.
Yeah, so yes, you can race with a controller. It takes a little bit to set up, but you can definitely race iRacing with a controller. That's how I started. And now I've got a half-decent little setup. We need to get
almost matching.
Almost matching.
The camping chair style rig.
Oh yeah, the GT
Logitech
light.
Wheel.
Yeah.
The Logitech wheel. And the VR goggles.
I haven't got the VR. I haven't got the VR goggles yet. No. So I made a big. I haven't even got the pedals yet, but I made a pretty big and brash decision during the break between last season and this season that I quit my full-time job. Just up and left it, and I decided I want to go back to study full-time and build some actual certificates around the career that I'm passionate about, which is IT. Like I do a lot of IT for clients of my own, and that's where I want to go. So I'm going back to study. That means
nice.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Nice. Well, all the best here, mate. But we'll get on to what's actually happening tonight in front of your eyes, everyone.
What is the V8 Supercars?
Yes, it is the series, Supercars AM series. Here running every Tuesday night for the next 9 weeks. Am I correct?
Sure. I bet it is. We do usually run a 9-round series. It seems to line up and work better in between other things like Scops and Logitech series, so it gives us that bit of balance around it. Our drivers can go race those as well. It is a 9-round series, yes, so Belle Isle. This is round 1 for a sprint round. Interlagos GP will be next week for a super sprint round. Round 3 will be Barcelona, Catalunya Historic. or the normal with a top 10 shootout. It'll be Imola top 10 shootout. Willow Springs top 10 shootout. Winton Winton Motor Raceway for a sprint.
So Winton.
Yeah, Winton. That's good. Yeah, and then Orschleben. Ooh, that was a bit of a clip there.
Big cloud. I think he was trying to get around Brett Taylor at the moment. Sitting at fairway down the creek compared to where he would have been. There's a lot down the left-hand side of that car. Joe Mahoney is on his outlap. I think he decided to throw it away to start. Lots of curve there for Brett Taylor on the inside. Jump to Tim Nicol now, who is just on a lap.
It's all oranges. Yeah, no, it's oranges at the moment.
Yeah, I think, so this is an outlap at the moment. I've got my timing screen in front of me. I'm all set up, chat. We're going to give you all the information you want. Timing screen all set up. So here we go. We'll start a lap with Tim Nicol, his last running qualifying. Lots of the inside curb.
I think that might have been
heaps of
next.
inside curb.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he's pulled out of it.
Lucky as we jumped onto the Warren and Brown Tools cockpit cam, but that's all right. We know Nicol is quick, and qualifying doesn't say it all. We are looking. Newcomer Lorne is now slotted up into fourth, provisional fourth, and look at that, Andrew Cowan in fifth now. Darren Crosby right behind him. Jason Douglas from LMR Esports. We know those young guns will be. Rick Vigor, Scotty Rattler, Matt Andrews. Man, there is some names out there tonight. This is Craig Keeley. Is Craig Keeley in the series? No, that's a new name to me as well. Wow, they're gonna. It looks like they struggle with that through the S there, mate. A lot of wheels going up onto the grass there.
The fastest way through that corner. You look back at old Gold Coast, for example, back when the E-cars used to run the longer layout and the middle chicane, sort of where turn 4, the hairpin now joins back straight. That used to be a chicane in there, and that was sort of weird with the grass on the inside, and they put a tyre bundle down for the supercars, and you'd see cars up on the grass all the time. It's one of those things, a bit of nostalgia for everyone.
That is...
that's it.
That is the Racecraft qualifying session done and dusted. Joe Mahoney will take pole position for race 1 of season 3 of 2023, and he also will take Racecraft's best lap for the qualifying session. The grid is going up. The drivers aren't messing around, and the grid looks the same as everything else. I was so worried that I didn't do it.
Joe Mahoney takes our Racecraft pole position. Tim Nicol comes home. We'll start alongside him in P2. Stephen Kennedy and Lorne McKee, 2 names that I haven't heard of myself. They're coming off the second row. Andrew Cowan, the average sim racer, sitting in 5th with Darren Crosby alongside him. So 2 M1 racing cars sitting in the top 6. Jason Douglas for LMR Esports alongside Rick Vigor. Chris Burridge, Scotty Rattler comes back for Quantum Pecky's performance. Matt Andrews and Troy Dooley will come off row 6. Hadar Pavlovich under the new name of Pacific Esports Racing alongside Troy Sipple. Liam Tipping, who I believe is running for Race on Oz Esports. He'll be coming out of 15 with Scott Weston next to him. Mark Peck and Craig Keeley line up on row 9. Bradley Wall and Travis Daly, 2 names that we've seen go head-to-head over the last couple of seasons. They'll come up off the 10th row of the grid. Miles Burgess, Daniel Schultz, Bruce White and Todd Martin, another one of those Quantum Pecky's performance cars. Callum Hodgkinson, Matthew Gerard, Brett Taylor, Reese DeGoey, Jake Edwards, Stephen Sinkovich, Travis Nielsen, Mike Hatterthy and Ryan Price round out the grid with Keegan Caldwell currently sitting in 35th. He will stay in 35th. Tyson McAvoy is our race director and safety car driver this evening.
Again, a huge shout out to Tyson for that loveless job that he does. We are gridding.
And we've got lights on. Ready for a start here to start season 3, 2023, and we're there away. Tim Nicol gets a great start off the line, heading down into turn one. Lots of cars still filing through. Look at this grid. Oh my goodness me, that's a lot of cars. As we wait for all the grid to come through, Joe Mahoney does come out on top. Tim Nicol will line up in P2 behind him. Andrew Cowan does jump up 2 spots in the third. The big battle pack coming down off the exit of 2 here. Joe breaking down into turn 1. Cowie goes defensive. Cars filing through slowly. Looks like Jason Douglas got a great start as well, already putting pressure on Cowie from behind. Douglas is up 3 spots there. Turn 5 now to turn 6. Down onto this back straight. Tim Nicol gets all of the throttle down. Maybe a bit too much. Won't get as good an exit as he liked. Single file has started. Rick Vigor already sticking his nose out. But side by side back here, I think that's Liam Tipping and Bradley Wall going at it. As we see the field file down. All the way down. Side by side down into the braking zone here for turn 8. I think it's called. Into this infield section now. Heavy on the brakes. Single file through here is really the only way to go. We see a good run for Miles Burgess in the 93 car. Just can't quite capitalise through this tight hairpin. Watch the dip on the exit. You can see it there, all the cars bouncing around. All the bumps in the braking zone down into turn 11, I think. I'll get my corner chart up in a second.
Did you call corners? Not me. I'm good to go.
Joe Mahoney with a standing lap time of 1:35.2. We'll keep an eye on how that lap time improves as we move on. Bit of field spread already. He is currently already 22 seconds from first to 33rd. That just shows how many cars we've got. All within a second, basically. A couple of early movers and shakers from the first lap. Lorne McKee is down 6 spots. He's in 10th at the moment. And the best of our movers is actually Jake Edwards down in 24th. He's up 5, 97 Mustang.
Drive really clean at the moment as we see Bradley Wall on the back of Liam Tipping. Just right on the back of him there. Mark Peck as well. Side by side with Daniel Schultz. Super clean driving already from this AM series, and again it just goes to show that these guys, even though we call them the amateur series, still know how to handle these cars, and they do such a great job with 34 drivers on track. I don't know where to click, I don't know where to look. There is so much happening. You can see Schultz on the back of Scott Weston here. EWR GMK Logistics. Mahoney and Nicol are starting to push the field away with Cowan right behind them as well. Jason Douglas has just done the best lap so far, the 1:30.03.
It's rapid. It's 5/10 faster than Joe Mahoney, who's got some clear out in front. Can't quite break away from Tim Nicol. We saw this throughout last season as well. He's got the pace, he's got the consistency. As we see Travis Daly drive up the inside of Mark Peck there. He can try and come back at him, he has to cover from White behind. Whereas White in that Gen 2 Mustang. No, yes, it's the Gen. No, it's the original Gen 3 Mustang livery.
Oh yeah, that's why you...
On the Gen 2 Mustang.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, spit it out. Finally. It does. It does.
Mahoney and Ham driver. Oh no! Around goes Matthew Gerard then. Not sure what's happened. But has taken his car for a bit of a spin.
Oh! Who's that?
That's
the 28
Hodgkinson.
corner. Hodgkinson's
That
around
has
as well.
caused... Oh no!
It's a car park.
Absolute car park.
It's a car park at turn 12. Oh, Mark Peck's involved.
Mike Hatherday.
Gerard Weston was also in there as well.
They all have managed to get away, so it might have been quite a slow sort of crash. As we see Sipple battling it out. Oh, so close to the rear just then. Stuart Barkley said, "Would hate to be anywhere from fifth backwards." Good job, Joe, mate. Honestly, they have done really. I jinxed them. They've done a really good job right up until that moment. Cowan has Jason Douglas from the LMR Esports right on him over the curbs to try and get as much run as he could through there. Had to back off though. Cowie blocked that extremely well.
Gave him the space just enough to jump up on the curb. And Jason Douglas. This is a great exit out of turn 11, running up to turn 12 now. It's quite a fast corner. Just watch that throttle. Another good run from Douglas. Looks like he's got some grip in hand. Drafting assistance now. Don't know if he's going to have enough of a run down into turn 1. It's quite a fast section, so he just needs to focus on getting the run out of 2, capitalising on the run down to 3 where he can really put the pedal down. Just not quite close enough. Mahoney and Nickel are going at it though, right at the front. And Nickel is in front, but not by enough. Mahoney does have the inside. Nickel will look to try and carry the speed, try and get back on the inside for turn 4. Can't quite do it. Just bide his time sitting behind and go for it again. Those two battling has really invited Cowie back up onto the rear wing. So we've got about a 5-car or a 6-car battle for the lead here. One of these guys makes a mistake. Oh, and who's that around? That's Troy Dooley. That's a lot of damage on the front of his car. That's coming through turn 3.
Very clean so far. Oh, as we see Lawn just clip the side of that concrete barrier there. Still on the back. Mahoney. Mr. Harry Dodds has said Mahoney an AM driver. Really? He does scopes. Yeah, but look, someone has to be the fastest in AMs, right? Like there's got to be a fast guy. And if you look at it, Mahoney, Nickel, Cowan, Douglas, Crosby and Kennedy are all running, right down to figure, all running similar lap times, so.
They're all not too far off each other.
Our amateur series has actually spread its wings a bit. We definitely have some quick drivers in the AMs. So we've got Callan pushing the back of Troy Dooley here. Gonna have to open a window. I'm getting sweaty. The old thermal heater running again next to me. Pavlovich being hassled by Matt Andrews, newcomer to the series.
The Sim Shed. His team name, I don't know. I have to ask him what that team is, but maybe by then he's sponsors.
Yeah, well, he does subscribe to me. Maybe that was a team he raced for at some point. Oh, there is a slow car there. Lot of damage. For Pavlovich to check up a little bit. That man is going to be stuck to him. Oh, it's Keegan Caldwell has just absolutely sent it into that wall then.
He's already a lap down in 32nd at the moment, so he's not having the race that he really wanted to have to start with.
Legs again. Douglas, Cowan. Crosby has actually been brought into this race now as well. Right, catching up to the back of Douglas. Douglas is battling away with Cowan. The top 6 are now, top 5 are now just about in a train. Stephen Kennedy actually not too far off the back. Just looking at all the battles happening across the field. This is absolutely phenomenal.
I think Crosby will be hoping that maybe Kennedy can catch up and drag along a bit. His teammate is behind him. M1 Racing. And I think I've said it before, having 2 cars of the same team is really beneficial, especially when you're running so close to each other. You can really bounce off each other. I mean, Crosby's got someone looking behind him who can give him some notes saying, hey, you're running a little bit too deep into that corner. Pull it back a bit and you'll find some speed on the exit. Lots of benefits of having your teammate there. The longer this battle stays as a train, though, how much Kennedy can gain. Halfway through this heat race, our sprint round. Still Mahoney on the top of Nickel at the moment. Cowie though is right there. Douglas is right there. Mahoney plus a couple of positions. Further afield at the moment, Rattler, Burridge and McKee are all nice and close, battling for 8.
Oh!
You see Burridge lose it on the rears.
That's contact. That was not. Yeah, that was a fast-moving incident too.
That was a big clout on the barriers. Lots of damage on the left-hand side of that car. Let's see what he's like. Oh, he's locking up, heading
good.
down for a left-hander as well. So keep an eye on that. Pavlovich.
Andrews still
right on his rear wing. Just trying to hold him underneath the rear wing. Yeah.
Oh,
The section here turns 8, 9, 10 and 11. They're all really driving as the same corner, just with different apexes.
oh no.
Big gain from Andrews.
Cowan's around.
Oh no.
Something happening.
Sipple is around as well.
There's a big incident in the background here as well.
Cowan's okay. Cowan's running, but Sipple had spun. So Sipple was that car that we just saw out of the rear view.
Nice one saying Cowan had an incident, so maybe. Oh no, he's got damage. Oh no, he's into the wall again.
There's almost an incident.
No, he's got a lot of damage on the front end of his head. Look, front left.
Front left.
He definitely, something has happened. He must have managed to spin it and keep it on track. But he's definitely done a lot of damage. That's going to give Douglas, Kennedy, Vigor, Van Loon all time. Because Cowie will be a lot slower at this point. Because of that damage. Oh, there's battles everywhere. Daly and Schultz. We saw a lot of this last season as well between these two. Bradley Wall, Daly and Daniel Schultz all battling away.
Another familiar face in White. In Brett Taylor sitting off the back of this as well. So 4-car battle. Of course, the big thing to remember is that P10 in this race becomes pole for the feature race. It's a format we've kept consistent from last season as well.
First top 10. Liam tipping, Qatar Pavlovich still going on. Qatar's now up 4 spots into 9th. Good to see. He had a late comeback last season to move himself quickly up the leaderboard. Which was great to see. Again, that new face. Nickel and Mahoney are going at it again. Oh, Mahoney's gone too wide.
It's gone too deep into turn 3. Tried to outbrake Nickel. They try and get back at him here though. Shows the nose. Some pressure on Nickel. Right on the rear wing, hopefully gets the exit. A bit of slipstream assistance. Up here into the infield, turn 7 coming up now. It's going to send it around the outside, heavy on the brakes. Dives up the inside. Just gets the move done. Good respect shown from both drivers to give each other just enough space. Able to get through there cleanly. Run down now into turn 11. This hairpin here. He did really well to capitalise that move.
Daniel Schultz is side by side here as well.
Schultz has gone very deep into the corner, too
no.
deep in fact.
Brett Taylor nearly followed him then as well. Nearly had a nose to tail edge. Stuart Barkley says Joe was 67th in Scops pre-qualifying. That's where the aliens live. 67th and up is aliens driving? Yeah. Scops. Chiefy said these boys are driving on the edge, as well as Stuart Barkley has said some good racing tonight. Sure is, as Nickel is back on the tail of Mahoney. Still a lot going on.
I feel like Nickel's got a really good run through turns 1 and 2. Turn 3 will be his spot. We've only got another 2 or 3 laps to really make the move stick, so if he is going to do it, he really needs to focus on getting the run out of 2. Use the slipstream to his advantage, duck out late down the inside. So it looks like he's got his little kink in the braking zone for turn 7 under control.
Matt Andrews, Liam tipping Petar Pavlovich. Liam pushing Petar side by side as they come down into the corner. Matt Andrews with a huge late break locks up the car. Did manage to get out of that. That could have been dangerous if he shot straight across that curb into the 2 guys battling in front of him. Liam Tipping has definitely made the better of that scenario there and has managed to pull away from Petar now. That has got Matt hot on his tail. Welcome back, Jet. We sure are back, buddy. Forwards to having
actually great.
Okay. Shoot it.
I was just going to say, yeah, thank you, Jet. Yes, we are back. I was just going to say that's great car control from Andrews there. All the rears were locked up for a long way into that corner. I was thinking, he's not going to pull off a Scotty McLaughlin at Gold Coast, is he? With the run down into the tight left-hander at the far end of the circuit. But, he did well to pull it up in the end. To jump back to this battle for 5th at the moment. Got Kennedy, Bigger, and Scotty Rattler running there. All very close. Darren Crosby's not too far off this as well. So Cowan and Douglas have got break away from this one. Douglas isn't too far away from these guys. And he gets a good run.
Seconds. Front of him, does look to be a possibility of some lapped cars here getting involved, but he is going to pull out of the way, stay off the racing line. Nice show of sportsmanship to let the guys on the lead lap through.
Mike Canopy there. Great job. Good, nice. Good awareness from all drivers.
Oh, big bump on the curb. That's going to give him the run through, straight through, easy, that bump. Oh, and that's also going to let Van Loon through. No, Rick Vigor, sorry, that's Vigor. It's a big bump on the curbs for Jason Douglas there from the LMR Esports. That's allowed 2 cars to get up and around him. But we know Jason is not slow and will not let those positions get away too easy. We're coming down to the final minute with Mahoney still in the lead. Tim Nickel hot on his tail. And a huge battle back here for 5th. No, this is for 4th, isn't it? If we count Kennedy in this, yeah, this is for 4th. Bradley Wall has managed to fight his way up 6 spots. The Team SRW Motorsports, and he's battling out with Craig Healy at the moment as well. Biggest movers at the moment is Brett Taylor up 12. Excuse me, up 12 spots. Biggest shaker, unfortunately, is Matt Andrews down 21.
And in the lane at the moment.
Yeah, I think he did have a few incidents. Yep, he has had quite a large crash and he has made it to the pits. We'll be getting on board with Joe. Haven't seen Mr. Barney say white flag yet. Could be off getting a meat pie. This is our white flag. Final lap for Heat 1 here tonight for the sprint round for our simrigs.com V8 Supercars Amateur Series. Unfortunately, Billy Mole, but thank you for joining us. The V8 Supercars AM Series, thanks to simrigs.com, is fully booked and registered full. We had to cut it off at 44 drivers. We do have a Pro-Am every Sunday night. But if you want to come sign up, we are up to 34 drivers for the Pro-Am at the moment. Still plenty of space as Chris Barrage and Peter Pavlich are still going at it in a lot worse for wear cars than that we were looking at them before.
Put the two cars together and you've got a new car.
Yeah, whole car there. Weston, Martin and Schultz all in a battle here as well. Cannot miss our Season 2 champion. Oh, they nearly just got pulled up by a off-track car there. Last season champion Joe Mahoney for JTIT Race on Oz. Comfortable drive for him, but Tim Nicol has given him a lot of grief throughout this race.
Joe Mahoney as he comes through the final corner here to take the checkered flag. But it'll end up being lights to flag for Joe. Let off the start. And we'll come home in P1 in our heat race here. Tim Nicol comes home in P2. Cowan, Kennedy and Vigor all nice and close together. Cowie with a lot of that damage to that left hand front and the right hand side as well. So he'll come home P3. Kennedy, Vigor, Rattler. And then looking further afield, Crosby, Douglas, Tipping, Pavlovich. Pavlovich will start off the pole for the next race. Now, feature race this evening. Barrage, Healy and Wall, all within a second of Pavlovich in the end. And then further down the field, Brett Taylor, our biggest mover, up 13 spots. Miles Burgess, Bruce White, Travis Daly, Lon McKee, who started off in the top 4 or 5 cars, down into 18th spot. So he won't be too happy with that race performance, but I'm sure he'll be looking to fight his way back through when we reverse the top 10 in this next race. Quite a few names further down the order than what we'd expect, including Callum Hodgkinson, who of course was almost on for a win, wasn't he, at Le Mans, or was I thinking a different car?
No, I think you're right. Yeah, it was Callum.
Yeah, on for a win at Le Mans last season and threw it away, entering the pit lane. Really unfortunate for him. Troy Dooley's down there. Mark Peck's also down there. So we've got a bit of a warm-up now. Here's your final results. Joe Mahoney does take home P1. Tim Nicol in second and Andrew Cowan in third. Starting off the pole, though, is Petar Pavlovich. He'll line up alongside Liam Tipping for our feature race coming up in a few minutes' time. So it's quite a spread of cars throughout the field. No real teammates lining up next to each other as a result. Of course, as we look further down the field, Mike Hatterthy, he had a bit of an unfortunate incident and has dropped himself down into 30th place as a result of that. Reese Degoe down there as well. But yeah, Mark Peck, Troy Dooley, Callum Hodgkinson, even Troy Sipple. We're expecting those drivers to be further up the front. Scott Weston and Daniel Schultz, they'll be disappointed as well to be down where they are. Travis Daly, who was on for a P2 in the championship last season, was fighting Joe Mahoney all the way to the last round. But Travis unfortunately didn't make it that last round. And is in 17th this week. As we look ahead into this feature race, ShiBBy, there is a pit stop.
There is.
And
yes.
The pit lane here is interesting. Interesting to say the least. It's sort of on the inside just before you turn in for the final corner. It's a rough spot to be.
I need to find someone in the pits.
Well, I was going to say, if we stay on board with him, he's just about to come around to that, I think. know where I am correctly. Yep, she's coming through this infield section now, turns 8, 9, 10, and 11. We'll see. Just a second. Chris Burridge on orbit. Coming into turn 12 now. On the brakes. Up to the wall, through 13. And then look to the right. And you'll see there's a yellow sign on the yellow and a gap. That's pit lane. So it's a fairly committed part of the track. You're going to need to say to let the drivers know by the positioning of your car that you want to go into pits. You don't want to be diving off straight away because you're basically on the brakes as soon as you get in there. It's a difficult pit lane to navigate. The exit isn't too bad. You can't quite get on throttle as early as you think. Otherwise, you'll spin the car, especially with 550, 600 horsepower at your disposal of your right foot in these cars. You just have to keep an eye on it coming out of pit lane. But I'm not sure whether the undercut or the overcut will work, but we will have to wait and see. I'm not sure. Let me just get a few lines up for this round. I will
get those stats going for us, mate.
We'll be able to estimate sort of when we should expect some pit stops. So fuel load for this week is 45%. Now, everyone did the race without a stop in that last one. So that was 20 minutes of racing. It was almost 21 minutes, 21 and a half minutes by the time we finished that last lap. So I'd be expecting to see about then as well in this next race, maybe a little bit later, give them another lap or so. But that will open up quite a few opportunities. It gives you a bit of a wider pit window, and you're not restricted by time in your pit window. You're restricted really by how much fuel you've got. So a little bit different to some other formats, some other series that you've seen. Of course, we had the Spa 24 hours on the weekend in real life, which the Rover Racing BMW did win, which makes BMW the most winning manufacturer of the Spa 24 hours. Just a little side note for you. But their driver window was 65 minutes. Basically, the idea of that is to nullify fuel load size. Like, as long as you can hit that 65 minutes, you'll be okay. You'll be okay on fuel. But of course, you can reset your driver time by stopping a little bit earlier and just giving it a top up. That's what a lot of people are doing during those long full course yellow periods that we had. Whereas with us in SRW, especially in our Supercars AM series and even the Pro series, it's really down to how much fuel you can save to how long your tank lasts, and then in turn how long your stint is. We are expecting, and I'm pretty sure it's almost compulsory for these drivers in their heads, that given the tyres matches with fuel, it's done at the same time. We'll be seeing those pit stops done with tyre change as well. You just have to look back to last week, not to last round, and know that it's a bit of everything can happen. We've got Steve dropping into the broadcast booth, mate.
I was actually waiting for Joe.
Oh, well, Steve's here.
How are you, gents?
You're not the winner of Heat 1, mate. You're
No,
not the
I'm
person I
not,
was
but you know what?
expecting.
I feel like a winner out there, man. It's so much fun. It's sensational stuff out there, man. From the very front to the very back, we're fighting for positions, man. Even in the last place I was doing fighting, it was awesome.
Mate, we saw you qualify, like, not at the rear. It was actually really good to see. And then, yeah, mate, holy smokes, the grid taking off, and then there was just so many laps of clean racing. We just, I don't know, you never know what's going to happen with this many cars on track, especially with such a small, tight track. And someone said it perfectly in chat. Stuart Barkley actually said, pretty cool track too. It looks a bit like a cross between Melbourne and Adelaide. And I think he's like nailed it on the head. Very tight corners, walls everywhere. And mate, you AMs out there just absolutely drove the pants off this track for that Heat 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think we could have had a safety car, but it was after the 5-minute mark. But it's epic driving out there. The guys are fighting left, right, and centre, and clean. Tyres are going. Probably there was about 5 laps to go, and tyres were starting to go, so that you can see people starting to slide around a bit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the main heat. But a lot of fun. I think the same sort of thing happened. We raced Mid-Ohio a few seasons ago. Everyone was like, oh, first race, it's going to be, carnage. And I thought as well. And I thought tonight was going to be carnage. But I tell you what, full credit to the boys out there. Driving has been so fair and so clean, from my perspective anyway. So, I hope it's putting on a good show. But, I thought I'd pop in and say good day and let all the boys know that, it's a lot of fun out there. And if you missed out, stick around. People might pull out as the season goes on because of time and real life. So there's 4 or 5 boys on the waiting list, but we've got space still in the Pro-Ams on Sunday night. There's still, I think, 5 spots left. So get them out there and like and subscribe. Love you guys. I'll get out there and make some carnage.
It's not destruction derby, mate. It's not a destruction derby. Settle down.
Oh, it's not Thursday night practice night?
No, it's not. It's not a Saturday night mayhem night either.
Okay. All right, I'll behave. All right, catch you lads.
All right, mate. Good luck for the next race.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, while we've got a little bit of time, I just want to say a huge shout out to, of course, simrigs.com coming on board and helping us out with not just the V8 Supercars AM Series, but also the Pro AM Series on a Sunday night, that there are registrations. Huge shout out to Warren and Brown Tools as our round sponsor. And we do have Mr. Joe Mahoney finally come down to the broadcast room. Mate, happy to be back in the seat.
Sorry, lads. I wasn't here before, but I needed to get up and do my pit stop for this next race.
Well, I'd rather you be organised for the race than in here talking to us, mate. But feel good to be back in the seat here at SRW.
Yeah, it does. I've been looking forward to this. It was a nice break, but it's good to get back into it. It's a hell of a field.
Yeah.
Look, I put a bit of effort in because I knew, especially around here, the best bet to stay out of trouble is to start from towards the front. Another good battle with Nickel. I actually think that might be the first time I've actually beaten Nickel in a genuine fight on circuit like that. I think most times he actually pips me. So another great battle with him.
Oh, that's true. You're off to a good start. You actually got a win straight away instead of waiting to the end of the season to get your win.
Good.
Yeah, that just clicked.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that one, that's with all the really quick guys in there, and the few additions that have in here for this season. It's awesome to see. I did read Harry Dodd's comment in the chat about me racing in Scops, and just so you know, there's a few other people in here that are racing in Scops as well. So it's all super tight. So I'm really looking forward to this. This next race is going to be pretty full on, I reckon.
Look, mate, I tell you what, if you take out another championship, though, there is probably going to be some movement for you up into the pros. So you just race hard, mate, and keep driving the way you're doing, and we will enjoy every bit of it.
If I win another championship, I'd be very, very happy to go up to pro. So thanks, boys, and enjoy this one.
No problem.
Back into it.
Good luck, mate. Let's get it. All right, we do have a reverse top 10 grid, so Petar Pavlovich will be on pole position for our feature race tonight. Liam Tipping will be sitting next to him. Row 2 is Jason Douglas from LMR Esports and Darren Crosby from M1 Racing. Scotty Rattler Van Loon, Rick Vigor on row 3. Stephen Kennedy, Andrew Cowan, row 4. Tim Nickel and Joe Mahoney will be on round 5. The rest of the grid is exactly where they finished in that Heat 1 race. Have a quick run through. Brett Taylor, Bradley Wall up into 13th. I think we are getting ready to go green already. These boys are getting into it. Ready, steady, go for action. Oh, it's already a big
start.
spin.
There was a bit of an overlap. Got 2 cars through, and it is...
Oh, no. Chaos.
Every car is involved.
Chaos
the
has
front 2.
ensued. And
We are going to... Oh, and then still going on.
Guys, you can't push through.
fairly sure.
I'm sure that's a safety
Icing
car.
is already moving.
Yep, that is definitely a safety car. I can't see why that wouldn't be. We will get a replay of that start. I was just talking about how good these AMS drivers have been tonight. It has been smooth. It has been clean racing. And we get a bit of a mix-up there. Tyson is jumping into the promo department safety car. The lights are on. This is our first safety car of Season 3 2023. Thank you so much for the promo department again for being on board for our safety car, which we really didn't see much of last season. So,
Once, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it was maybe once or twice, and that was it. We will get a replay of that start. Because
From my initial thoughts, it looked like that Jason Douglas got a mega start up the inside. Here we go. We're jumping to a replay now. Jason Douglas got away quite well. Got a lot of wheel spin though as he changed direction, and then I can't even tell which number that is. That was Scotty Van Loon,
yeah,
who was just tripped over the front, and then with all the cars together, can't really go anywhere. And that's what happened.
Nowhere to go.
Jumping on board with Scotty Van Loon here. So watch Jason Douglas off the start. Gets a good start and then breaks in a wheel spin, and there's just overlap enough that there's a bit of a trip over from everyone, and then it's just, oh my goodness me. Bradley Wall, that was a lot of speed.
Oh yeah, they get off the line fast, so geez, what a start. It's not exactly what we wanted to see, but crazy start. So there goes a lot of people's fast repairs. If you guys are new to sim racing or iRacing itself, in this series you do get one fast repair per the heat one and one fast repair through the feature. So I dare say it's painful, but I think a lot of cars towards the end of that pile up or right in the middle may be using their fast repair now and hoping for the best. It's always a tough one, isn't it, Thomas? It's like, okay, I've suffered a lot of damage, but can I hold my spot here until I need to pit? So we'll probably find some cars. Bradley will wave back. That is not the button I wanted. I wanted to go here. So we're going to filter back through the field. As you can see, up to P3, barely any damage. P4, Darren Crosby got a rear ender. Chris Burridge just got a rear ender. Rick Vigor looks like he managed to get through there pretty unscathed. Actually, that the Angry Birds car looks quite nice. Cowan, Andrew Cowie, yep, very clean looking. Jason Douglas, bit of scratch up the side from that overlap. Craig Healy looks clean. Joe Mahoney, clean, down in 10. So, yeah, he definitely got a big sigh of relief.
No bonnet on that car.
Yep, so that's Bruce White. Lawn looks pretty decent. Oh, that Travis Daly car looked a bit crooked, but I think it's all right. These guys already hit the pits? Is that what's happened? Like they've already made it through the pits?
No, not everyone has pitted. So the only people who have pitted so far are Daniel Schultz. His was a 3.92 second pit stop, so that would have just been the fast repair, and then he'll go again. Trying to jump some people in the pit stop sequence. Scotty Van Loon doesn't say that he's stopped, so he's probably still got a fair bit of damage on his car. Mike Haddathy as well doesn't say that he's stopped. Stephen Kennedy has. Miles Burgess has also. Well, Miles Burgess's pit stop was 1 minute 22 seconds. I'm not sure what's happened there. And Bradley Wall still, I don't think, is quite coming out of pits. It's showing that he's out of pits. Oh no, there we go. He's just tripped over a timing line now. So, but his was an 11-second stop, and so was Stephen Kennedy. So I think that might have just been
fast repairs.
Fast repairs and maybe a change of tyres as well.
Say change
go through a routine
point
spot.
there.
I mean, of course, there was a pit stop of the human as well.
Yeah.
As we heard, Joe Mahoney had to make his own pit stop whilst out of the car. So that's...
I'm actually surprised there wasn't more cars take a lot of damage through that.
I'm sure they're all carrying some damage, but they're all also thinking, how much can I get away with? How much can I still be running with the field before I do come in and pit? I'll jump on board the safety car here, looking backwards to Liam Tipping, who has led himself off the start quite nicely. Petar Pavlovich is there next to him as well. So Tipping did get the jump on Pavlovich off the start line. I'll be hoping to run away with it once we get the safety car in, which shouldn't be too long. All the cars are back up on the train now. All the cars are under the control of the safety car.
And he sounded like he was starting to pull away while we're on the back of
accelerating away.
Yep, while we're on the back of this safety car, getting ready for this restart. If you guys have been enjoying this broadcast and want to help us continue do this, the easiest way to do it is for free. Hit that like button, and if you are not subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe to not miss out on all the fantastic racing we have this season. Back on board with Liam Tipping. Safety car has pulled away.
Liam Tipping's job here is to hold 90 kilometres an hour. The safety car is in pit lane, and he's given the green flag, which should come now. And he's away already. He's dropped him.
Foot to the floor, and he is off. Out of there. Gapped him by a second already. That is huge.
That's a big jump. That'll almost break the slipstream to Pavlovich as well. So I think Pavlovich doesn't have any damage, but he's dropping back really quickly. Pavlovich is already being overtaken by Nickel.
Nickel's got around him.
Nickel got him. Oh, Nickel tries to stay narrow on exit, just trying to catch a bit of oversteer, and Pavlovich will get back up the inside, although Nickel hangs it around the outside. You should see Pavlovich duck back into line here. Oh no, he's still got to stay there. This is side by side through the staircase section. Nickel trying to get the run on the exit, trying to stay alongside. Side by side now on the run up to turn 8. Bit of action here under brakes. Pavlovich does brake a little bit later. Does carry more speed, almost up to that outside wall on the exit, but manages to hold onto that place. That was side by side all the way from the exit of turn 2 all the way to turn 8. Great racing, boys. That's a great way to start this race.
Look at this absolute monster of a train. Jump on board with Chris Burridge, who's in the middle of this all at the moment, with Rick Vigor, Andrew Count, Jason Douglas, and Joe Mahoney all hot on their tails. Oh, we see Chris's teammate Darren Crosby just click that concrete wall on the left-hand side then. Has allowed Chris to get a bit of a run, a bit extra speed.
At the front, he's at 4.5 seconds.
Wow, Liam has just absolutely flown.
Liam's dropped.
Absolutely flown the coop. Look at this field of drivers as we see Cowie. Is that Cowie trying to make a move? He just stuck his nose out to have a look there on Rick Vigor. Jason Douglas is now hot on Cowie's tail.
Also going to the front right of that car as well after the overlap. And consequent damage with Bradley Wall. Code into the start line, sorry. Big train here. Oh, there's a car that stuck himself out. Oh, and he's in the wall.
Keep your...
Does manage to rejoin on the inside of the corner where the cars aren't. So does well.
I was just having a look at Sipple. And, sorry, Peck and Hodgkinson here. Mark Peck from Peckish Performance Sim Racing. On the hunt to take down Carlton Hodgkinson. We see Matt Andrews in the background there take a bit of a slide. Managed to pull Jake Edwards in on this battle as well. Chris
safety car, do we?
Possibly everybody has slowed right down. Yep, Tyson is out of the pits again. We have a second promo department safety car. Let's see if I can't work my magic and find out.
All right. got some stoppers. Cowan and Douglas have ducked in the pit lane. So that would have timed them perfectly to come out there. Douglas, Cowan in pit lane. We've got Jake Edwards in pit lane. So I think this might be to repair some damage. It is quite early from our numbers to be making a stop, but I don't know what the fuel load is like. It'll be interesting to see whether this undercut will work for them or whether or not this will be just an unfortunate way that it's all panned out. Edwards, Caldwell, Rattler, Van Loon.
Oh, that's the incident.
Oh dear.
That has to be the incident. So that is Stephen Sinkovich in car number 55, Stephen Kennedy then. That, I think Stephen then jumped to pits. What's happened there?
Oh, overlap with the 22, Bradley Wall.
Yep, I think you're 100% right there, mate. There was some overlap. Two teammates in that. Then has Stephen turned, but then his car sort of disappeared.
Oh, no. He's been driving the wrong way. He's got DSQ driving the wrong way.
Oh, no, he's back.
Oh, no. So maybe just a glitch.
Probably is.
And then he's tried to go and then...
There was this incident here as well from Keegan Calder, but I do believe, because this was after that spin with Steve. Oh, Keegan's around. That is a horrid spot.
Oh.
Jeez, he did well to flick that out of the way there.
Damage. You can see him crabbing along the track. No? What's going on? Looks like he was crabbing a bit. Definitely has damage right front.
Definitely not happy. So Mike Hatherday actually has towed to pits, which is very interesting because I don't see any incidents with Mike unless there was something a lot earlier that we didn't pick up on, or he's had a malfunction of some sort. Yeah, he's just. Yeah, so something has happened. He was spun just then. Let's see if I can't. Okay, so I think there might have been connection issues or something because he was on the screen there for a second, but we will get back to live now. I can't find anything else, but big spin there. Right, well, we have the break again. Simrigs.com, huge shout out to them. Thank you so much for being on board with our V8 Supercars AM and Pro Am series. Of course, Warren and Brown Tools, our round sponsor for this evening. Racecraft simulations for our qualifying session. We can't forget our stream sponsors, Grim Industries, the home of the V8 coffee table. Tempting sweets for those sweet, sweet treats. Rare Spares, Shannon's. I was going to read Warren Brown Racecraft and Simrings again, but I suppose they are. So, yeah, huge shout out to all our sponsors. And again, huge shout out to all of you out there watching our broadcast here tonight. This is live racing, thanks to SRW TV and, of course, the league behind it, Sim Racing World. Without these drivers out on track, we wouldn't have this great broadcast to give to you. So let us know how awesome these drivers are by giving us a massive thumbs up. And if you do enjoy the broadcast even more, hit that subscribe button. Maybe share us with some friends and family, or even sim racing friends that you know of that might want to come and get involved. We also have Formula 3, the GR86 series. We are doing a multi-class series. And we are also doing a roulette racing series, which is, I'm quite interested to see how that goes. But safety car is pulling away from the pack. That will leave Liam Tipping in control again for the second time tonight. I wonder if he's going to try the same trick again.
On the field at 90 kilometres an hour once again. He jumped from here last time. Hasn't gone as early. Still hasn't gone. Has now, though.
He's gone. He's gone now.
Got another gap built up. 6/10 at the moment. So not quite as much of a gain as he did the last time by. Holds the field for a little bit longer. Field now coming through single file through the chicane to start. Through the right-left sequence. Turns 1 and 2. Pit lane exit. He's got 7/10 now, so had a good run through turns 1 and 2. To just open up that gap ever so slightly. Although Pavlovich came back at him on the exit of turn 3. Through the staircase section now. Just going to climb up to the long back straight.
Few moves in the background. We've had Travis Nielsen get round Bruce White, Schultz get round Taylor, Wall get round Price, Andrews get round Sipple, so there is a lot of movement at the back at the moment. You can see right there the amount of cars that are together. At the moment, this is Mark Peck and Callum Hodgkinson duking it out side by side. Matt Andrews right in there as well. We've seen a lot of this new driver here tonight. Getting in there with Hodgkinson. Sipple right on the back of him as well. Big battle here further back down the pack. And Schultz for Team SRW Motorsports as well is getting involved with this battle. Mahoney's in pits. We're 17 minutes in. Mahoney will be the first to take his pit. Oh, as we see Schultz getting all over the back of Hodgkinson and Sipple. A lot of grass taken there from Hodgkinson. Sipple and Hodgkinson still side by side. Right on board with Warren Brown Tools cockpit cam. Oh no, there's a car around there. It looked like the Angry Birds vehicle. More battling down as we move further back with Bradley Wall, Jake Edwards and Miles Burgess. There is battles non-stop up and down the field everywhere tonight. Can't see it, but there are 35 cars in this session. These guys are putting on a show. Hodgkinson, it said he's had a crash. He has dropped one position to Brett Taylor. Also Gerard and Douglas are now back on these tail. Bit of pushing and shoving. Such a tight track for these cars to get through. Back a bit further, Jake Edwards from Chris Cross Racing there in that beautiful looking Jennifer Russell livery. Looking nice and clean. Good racing. Bradley Wall is peeling off into the pits as well there. Just saw him pull off out of the back of Jake Edwards. Troy Dooley in the 333 is on the back of Miles Burgess for Crisscross Racing as well. A lot of battles happening. Mark Peck, Bruce White, Matt Andrews. Nearly 3 wide through that corner. The AMs definitely know how to put on a show. Matt Gerard, Jason Douglas, Burgess, Dooley, all in a 5-car battle here. See Burgess trying to make a move up the inside of Dooley. No, sorry, that's Edwards. Jake Edwards was trying to make that move. That's brought Scully, Rattler Van Loon and King Caldwell onto the back of them as well. Oh, a bit of contact up the front there. That was Matty Gerard. He is in the wall there. Oh, he's pulled out. Oh my gosh. Got to be careful on those re-entry guys. That can end your race and some unsuspecting other drivers' race for the night.
He's got a lot of damage.
It was a big spin. It was a great battle. It was a 5-way battle.
Crosby's in the pit lane. Andrews as well. Simple. Lots of cars coming in now, so this is the even tyre strategy now. Of course, that even tyre strategy would have been pushed right a couple of laps with the safety car, but side by side here, Healy and McKee jamming on the brakes. McKee heavy on the brakes. Oh,
heavy
too much speed. Does get back across to cover. Lots of damage on the left-hand side. Be expecting the car not to turn as well as he hoped. Might have a bit of drag on the straight line. Have to see if Healy can get back at him here. He's been able to just hold that gap as it is. We've got Daly driving up the inside from downtown. How about that? Very nicely done, Healy and Weston, both teammates now. Try and work together as best they can. Would we expect anyone else to pit? Tipping's got 2.9. We've got Caldwell driving up the inside there of that is
Jake Edwards.
Jake Edwards. Oh, and he gets back at him.
No,
Crisscross side by side through the inside. Lots of space left from both drivers there. Lovely, lovely work.
He's on the power.
Oh, contact. It's the dip in the road there where the cars get really unsettled right at the critical application of the throttle pedal. Craig Healy has ducked into the pit lane. I don't see anyone else duck into pits now. Everyone's still going around out of this battle.
Brett Taylor, Miles Burgess now as well. This is that battle that caused... Forgot already. Oh my gosh. Matt Andrews to spin earlier was involved with this battle here. There was a five-way battle going for it. Pavlovich. Oh, Nichol's caught Pavlovich. He's done it. Right as we switch over, Nickel has just rounded up Pavlovich there.
Ride control over the curb was impressive. Able to use the curb to help rotate the car and also arrest the speed on the car coming through turn 8. Did that really nicely to perfection. Showed the nose that he was going to go that way, and it was, there's carnage.
Huge
there's carnage.
It's between
other side of the infield.
Burgess and Brett Taylor. Cars locking up.
It's Caldwell involved.
Don't move! You can see that Burgess and Caldwell have done the right thing. Stayed on their brakes until racing was clear. Got to be so careful with re-entries. I cannot say that more. Nielsen! Huge big slide as we jump on board, showing off his drift skills in the simrings.com Team SRW Motorsports car. Big slide.
Gets past him. He's got a threat from Reese to go behind, although he should hold on to that position. I wonder what's happened there. Has he come out of pits and lit it up? Oops. No. No, he was one of the early stoppers who took his fast repair early on, so he just got very unsettled. The car tipped away from him. And he has dropped off the back a fair way off the back of... No, Martin's still there. Martin just went past him. Douglas attacking White now on the run-up. Back straight. Good exit from Douglas. Douglas does have 5-lap pressure tyres than White. That was just a really good exit, especially taking the tighter line. Another good exit there.
Like the guys have settled down, which is good to see. The chaos at the beginning. Now everybody has got themselves settled in, and some beautiful racing is being displayed.
Nielsen is carrying maybe a fair bit of damage here, so he's going to duck the pit lane.
Yep, Nielsen, White. McKee. I've got to ask him. Although I'm still going to call Joe Mahoney.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
forgot,
Joe.
didn't
Why-
you?
I think we both kind of forgot.
No, I didn't forget.
Oh, well, I did.
I told him. I've already called him Mahoney for a whole season. It's not changing now.
Daniel Schultz following Martin here. Todd Martin, a little bit of flashing going on, but nothing I think that is too frustrating for the drivers. Slow there. That was Ryan Price, the 26 Mustang. Paddy Gerard is coming out of pits. Keegan Caldwell. By. So looking through our stoppers at the moment, the top 7 haven't stopped. Daniel Schultz is the first driver who has stopped, but that was on lap 1, and that was only for the for a fast repair. So I'm expecting him to come in relative to the rest of the field. Reese DeGoey hasn't stopped. Jason Douglas has. He stopped on lap 5, which would have also been for a fast repair. So my bet is that he can't make it home either. Callan Hodgkinson hasn't stopped. Scotty Van Loon has hit another lap 5. Jake Edwards another lap 5 stopper. Troy Dooley and Rick Vigor haven't stopped. And then Joe Marnie, we get the pronunciation right, down in 16th at the moment. He stopped on lap 8. And if we know anything about Joe, especially when he said he's done all the work he can.
No. Sorry to
Who's that up the
interrupt.
front?
Schultz on a great drive has just somehow missed a corner, or totally forgot there was a corner, and has just lost 3 positions.
Here we go. So he's going for the overtake here on Todd Martin in front of him. Ducks to the inside. Just doesn't quite slow the car down. But he stops just before the corner, jams it into reverse. Picks up the throttle. And Todd had to really take some evasive action there to avoid jamming up the rear end. Daniel Schultz. So.
Oh, no.
And we jump
as
on
we come
board,
back
and he's
on the
lost it on the rears.
Those tyres must be getting worn. Healy and Matt Andrews, though, as we skip away from Schultz and his slides. We've got a battle here for 2 newcomers to SRW. Craig Healy of EWR GMK Logistics. I'm sure we saw one of those cars towards the end of last season. I think maybe they brought their whole team over. And Matt Andrews.
Scotty Van Loon. Is he wearing that livery now?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's not a Peckies anymore, is he? No, he's still in Peckies.
No? Okay. Because we definitely saw the livery last season. Oh, Scott Weston.
It was Scott Weston, that's right.
Scott Weston. So he came in back. He's just coming out of pit lane. He's down in 17th at the moment. He blends out. Julian Vigor here. On board with Vigor.
Aero on that car can't move right now without that bonnet.
Doing well though. He's staying on the back. It was only half a tenth away from Troy Dooley on that last lap. A couple of these drivers are putting in personal best in their last lap as well, so seeing some good times come through these drivers. Still waiting on the top 5 to pit. Jason Douglas up in 6th at the moment. He's 27 seconds off the lead. That gap is staying about 27.5 seconds, so he's got a lot of pace to burn. Whether or not he's got the fuels or the tyre life to survive until the end, we will have to wait and see. Liam Tipping has gone past, and so has Tim Nickel. Pavlovich has gone past. Do we see Travis Daly duck into pit lane? No, it looks like he...
Yep,
so Travis Daly is in. Let's see Peck dive in. No, Peck goes past.
Back in 13. I have to keep an eye on him, actually.
So he stopped on lap 8, so he's in a good position relative to everyone else. So where does he come out relative to Travis Daly? Daly comes out behind Joe Marnie. So Joe's sitting in a decent spot at the moment. The gap looks to be about... I'm just waiting for our timing board to update because everyone's jumping everywhere. So Marnie to Daly is looking to be... once it settles down. About 7 seconds or so. Now, from my memory, Daly was inside 7 seconds of the leader. So Joe Marnie at the moment is sitting in a pretty decent spot based on my guesstimate numbers. Maybe battling for the lead here. Watching to see if Tipping comes in this lap. Nope, he stayed out. So has Tim Nicol. Next to see is Petar Pavlovic, whether he hits as well. Petar Pavlovic has ducked in. Mark Peck, does he stay out?
Up 22 positions, right? Reese to go.
He's got a lot to gain from this. He's going to push on again.
Big movers. Mark Peck, 22 positions. Reese to go in 23 positions. Jake Edwards, 25 positions. Matt Andrews, 17 positions.
All right, so the gap we're looking for is where Petar Pavlovic comes out relative to Joe Marnie. Joe Marnie has passed Petar Pavlovic before he came out of pits. The gap's about 2 seconds. So Joe's on a bit of a charge here. He's got some traffic to deal with. Edwards in front has pit on lap 5. So he's oh no, Edwards has crashed. Edwards has gone straight ahead at turn 3. So Joe has now been given a bit of a free kick for some track space. Darren Crosby stopped 2 laps later than Joe, so a bit of extra tyre life to work with, but is driving behind Joe, which will probably hurt those tyre temperatures a little bit. Crosby here, right on the slipstream. Joe decides to go defensive. Crosby goes to the outside. Joe leaves just enough space on the outside of the corner to defend that position and not compromise his run too much into turn 8 through turn 9. Nicol is in the pits. Here we go. Where does this thread Joe Marnie out? My biggest question is whether Jason Douglas and Scotty Van Loon can make it to the end, having stopped on lap 5 in that second safety car period.
No way. What'd you work out? 18 laps or something, wasn't it? Around that.
Well, Nicol's come out ahead of Van Loon.
Okay, still in 5th. Chasing down Goey as well, so...
Goey hasn't stopped either, so...
Yeah.
Nicol has actually come out in a decent spot. He'll have tyre life to get around to Goey. And hopefully he can use that to his advantage to get past quickly so that he can try and undercut Tipping. Here's the battle for the lead of the race. So, yeah, look at that drive. Straight through the corner. Able to get on power much easier. Goey had pushed a little bit deep, but that was a bit of understeer as well. And couldn't get on throttle until the car had turned and gripped back into the track. So Nicol now, he's got a little bit of lap, a little bit of space, 2 and a bit seconds to Douglas in front, which he should be able to catch fairly quickly. Tipping is in. Let's see where this threads the field out. Only 6 minutes left in the race, so I think that Douglas is probably betting on, and Peck is in as well.
Yeah.
So Douglas, we'll have to wait and see. He will jump back to the lead, but the question will be whether he has to pit again. So Tipping has come out ahead of Douglas. So Tipping has timed that absolutely to perfection. He's done a 10.83 second pit stop, and that's just to do fuel and tyres to get him to the end. So by running long, he's bought himself enough time to do a very, very quick pit stop, get himself to the end. In comparison, Tim Nicol did a 10-second pit stop. Joe Marnie, who pitted 11 laps earlier, did 11.3 second pit stop. So that whilst that may not seem like a lot, that still can be, that's probably just tyres overlapping with fuel a little bit. I'm not sure on what doing tyres itself versus doing tyres and fuel is like, but The gap has bought himself enough of a gap. Nickel, though, already within a second of Douglas. Now, I wonder how much coast is Douglas doing, do you reckon? Because he found that gap awfully quick.
Oh, it didn't sound like he's
Okay,
going
Cam.
too much. He is on power.
Well, he's having to chase the rear, though. Goes past again. Does he have 3 laps of fuel? It's probably what it's going to be. Across before 4 minutes left. So, yeah, he's got to have more than 3 laps of fuel.
He's not playing around.
It was 1.3 seconds slower on that last lap. Tim Nicol just banged in his fastest lap of a 1 minute 30.7. So Nicol is on it. Scotty Van Loon currently running in 4th. He's 5 and a bit seconds behind. A name just disappeared from my screen.
A name did.
What happened to Joe Marnie? Joe Marnie's had an incident.
Wait, what?
He's in pits.
As we see, Nicol has got the inside of Douglas there and just over-rotated those rear tyres. Put himself in the wall. That's allowed Van Loon to jump into 3rd place as well. You're right, though. Mr. Mahoney. Quick action replay here to find out what has happened. Oh, he's clipped the wall on the way through. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I
You got hit by
did see
Pavlovich,
a puff
too.
of white smoke.
Championship winner, or reigning championship. Sorry, let me get my words up. Reigning champion did spin out and crash.
Unfortunate. Joe Mahoney.
Very unfortunate. Nicol here getting past Van Loon though. So trying to maximise his points haul now. P3 now on the podium. Did have fresher tyres by 13 laps over Van Loon. So tyre delta here is what's playing its part into Tim getting back to where he is. He's 6 seconds off Jason Douglas. He won't be able to catch him.
No, don't think so.
Got just under 1.5 laps to go for the leader. Douglas does have lap traffic behind him. I think that's Taylor in behind him. So
Taylor behind him. He's laps down there. Majority of this field still on the lead lap. I'll make it next Tuesday. Hurry up, Maureen.
I haven't even finished this one yet.
I know.
We've still got 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. And you're already thinking about next week.
Yeah, mate.
Anything can happen.
Oh, mate.
It's the AMs. Anything can happen.
Vigard Kennedy were side by side there. Rick Vigor will slot in front of Kennedy, take another position. He is down 10, so he will be fighting back to get as many as possible. Douglas is in the pits. He's in the pits. He's in the pits. I repeat, Jason Douglas is in the pits.
It was a lap too short on fuel. So this will be a stop, splash, go.
He's got to get out of these pits quick. He's just 3rd to 9th now to 10th.
He
The
didn't
field
change
is
top.
so
He didn't
close.
untick tyres.
11th.
That's a big drop of fuel.
12th. When's he going to
Going to come out behind
13th.
Gee whiz.
From 2nd
So I
to
wonder if
13th.
that was a 10.7 second pit stop. So that there is probably not changing, probably not unticking tyres.
Are we on white flag? I'm too busy looking at everything else.
We should be.
Close. Oh, what a turnout tonight for the simrigs.com V8 Supercars Amateur Series here for round 1. The season 3 of 2023. Warren and Brown Tools have been our round sponsor tonight. This is the checkered flag. Liam tipping the JTIT. Race on Oz coming over in first place. Mr. Tim Nickel for Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing will take P2. His teammate Scotty Rattler Van Loon will take P3. Darren Crosby, great race, super close, new name up in P4. Petar Pavlovich up in that P5. Great to see him in that top 5 in both heats. That's going to be looking good for his points.
So was he in top 5 in the first heat? He started off the pole, so I don't think so.
Top 10, sorry. Top 10, I meant to say.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
top 10, yes.
Yeah.
That's where he was.
Yep, that's where he was.
Burrage, Weston, Healy, Sipple, Andrews. What's that? Is that 4 Quantum Pecky's cars?
Yeah.
In the top 10?
And quite a
with
few.
Peck only in 12?
Quite a few of the new EWR GMK logistics drivers as well up there. So, a lot of new teams.
That's a great job from them.
So Travis Daly from Performance Sim Racing has managed to slot himself into 11th, up 6 spots. So, but our biggest movers and shakers of tonight's race, I think Matt Andrews, newcomer to the series, mate.
A privateer.
The privateer up 22 positions, was all over the broadcast tonight in some great battles. I am voting for Matt Andrews to get the Tempting Sweets driver of the evening.
I think to drive 22 spots with that amount of damage, pretty good performance.
I think so.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah, that was a great drive tonight. So Matt Andrews, or anybody who knows Matt, please let him know to reach out to one of the series and league admins, because he will be getting sent a little care package for the driver of the day, thanks to temptingsweets.com.au. Liam's had an incident on his cool down lap. He's lost his bonnet. He's lost his bonnet somewhere along the line on his cool down lap. Or he was
only
just
the
doing,
AMs.
Yeah, only in the AMs. Or he was doing burnouts.
This could be very true, and we didn't see the burnouts. But hopefully he's got enough fuel in the tank to be able to do burnouts when everyone's pulling up on the grid.
Results are locked in for your simrigs.com V8 Supercars AM series here. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools for round 1, season 3 of 2023. Liam Tipping will take the win tonight for our feature race. JTIT Race on Oz. Tim Nickel will be in second place for Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing. Scotty Rattler Van Loon for Quantum Pecky's Performance Racing will be in P3. Great drive across the field from all our drivers out there tonight. Again, everybody out there watching, if you have enjoyed this broadcast and watching the AMs take to the track, please let us know by hitting that like button. Sweet. Wow, what a race. Man, I'm excited for the rest of this series. I am so excited for the rest of this series.
Okay, now you can say you can't wait till next week.
Can't wait till next week. I already couldn't.
Can't be saying it when there's still a minute left in the other race.
Man, I've been so pumped to get back behind the cameras and the broadcast with you. Like the last nearly 3 weeks has been so tough. I'm like, I've got nothing to do. Actually, that's a lot. I had a lot to do. We had a lot to do to get this series ready, up and running. I let Liam have his burnouts. I need a bigger screen.
We're missing a car on the grid.
Yeah, so Scotty Rattler Van Loon is he's,
Out of fuel?
yeah.
So he made it home after pitting on lap 5.
He's nearly made it to the pits. Look, he's nearly made it. Come on, Scotty, you can
Go to the
do
grid.
it.
Go to the grid.
You can do it, mate.
Oh,
You reckon he would have made it? Downhill run? Oh, it's still a fair way to go. Still a fair way
if I
to
was
go.
Tim Nicol, I would have waited. I
would've
should have
pushed him.
waited behind him
Yeah,
and
maybe
give him a push back to the line.
Teamwork should have been spoken to there.
Oh, if that was me, I'd like a push.
I'd definitely like a push. Great finish, though, for the Peckies boys. But Liam and Tim, if you boys are listening into the broadcast, feel free, if you've got the fuel, to do what we do best over here in Australia and let it rip, boys. Let it rip.
I want to see backwards back over the start-finish
Yeah,
line.
we need to see some
We need to see some SVG-esque burnouts. Come on, boys.
Drag don't wait to myself.
Right, and if
I think they're
Scotty Van Loon is listening, jump in the green room. Is he mate? Oh, he's out. He's out of the car. Oh, there he is. All right. Whilst the boys get ready to light up their rear tyres, let's drag a Rattler in here.
Across this route. Well done, boys.
Scotty, mate, well done.
Oh my God. Wow.
That was a great race from you, albeit just coming home with enough fuel to get to pit lane.
At half a lap, I had 0.1 left. So I just rolled. And it started actually when I went over the yellow cones in pit lane. It started, so. But anyway, yeah, not huge. That, well, obviously the lap 1 incident right at the start put me at the back and come in fuel at lap 5 and saved some fuel and got home. Just.
Just got home, mate. Yeah, that was it didn't click in my head until I looked down at my timing and saw that you were still trundling around after pitting on lap 5, mate. There's no one else in the field who managed that. Jason Douglas also pitted on lap 5 and he had to duck in the pit lane on the last lap. So you did well saving enough fuel. Was it saving fuel from the very start that you think got you there, or?
No, it was probably the last 7 laps. I reckon I was clutching, going into a few of the corners, going into turn 3 and turn 7, and short shifting a few spots. The boys said to me in Discord, they said, mate, if you can save some fuel, you might be in for a good chance here. And I've never saved fuel in my life, fellas. Like, so seriously, it was a crash course. But yeah, no, awesome. Just awesome with the P3 wrapped.
Yeah, look, that lap 1 was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think somebody took off from the start and they bogged down, and it was just I just saw a heap of smoke, and then it was all over. I wasn't sure what happened.
Yeah, it was Jason Douglas. He bogged down off P3, I think he was, and
Yeah,
then
right.
he tried to duck out early because he felt like he got a great start, and then just bogged down in the second phase. And I think
Yeah.
there might have been a bit of net code, but come alongside and then bangs a bit of overlap. And
Well, yeah, I mean, it damaged me. I was getting passed by a couple of cars, and I knew that I had no top end speed, so I just had to wait and wait and wait. And for that, lap 5 or lap 6 to come up, and I thought, oh, bugger it, I'm going to give it a crack. And it worked, sort of. I nearly had Tim. Tim spun in front of me, actually, with 2 laps to go. If I had fuel, I would have had him, but yeah, I didn't have him.
yeah, I
Next
wasn't sure if it was fuel or 13 lap pressure tyres that made it easy for him, but
Could have been a bit of both.
we'll just go with that. It was just
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah. No, it was a great race, though. Like, seriously, the numbers that we had out tonight was just incredible. There was a lot of guys will get a lot of experience from that and understand, at the back of the pack, and when cars are coming through, just we'll stay on the racing line and we can go around. But apart from that, I thought it was really good. Have to watch the replay tomorrow morning at work. I mean, later tonight.
Yeah, not what. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
not
right.
yeah.
Well, mate, well done.
Thank you,
Give me a
boys.
chance to thank all your sponsors of Quantum Pecky's Performance.
Yes, we don't have many, but we've got Quantum Tint Solutions. We've got Peggy's Performance Racing and Dyno in Darwin. Tim Nicol Photography, and WA Roof Restorations. That's it. So if any sponsors are out there that want to jump on board, just hit us up.
We'll make sure you keep jumping on the podium, and maybe they might come and say hello.
Good on you, Preechy. Thanks, ShiBBy.
No
All right, well done, mate.
Congratulations.
Thanks, boys.
We'll get Tim in here now. Tim finishing on the podium in P2. Tim, mate, well done. That I'm sure that last couple of laps was a bit of a fright for you down into turn 8, but well done. You hold on to P2 and get a 2-3 for Quantum Pecky's performance.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. And Rats, he very lucky to get the strategy on his pit to pull it through for a third. But yes, I was wide at that turn on the ugly side of the track, and I just buzzed it up a bit. And yeah, she was like going around. I don't know if I tagged the wall, but I was like, I am just going to send it and see if I can spin it around without being in trouble for holding the brake, which is a little bit naughty, but the relative didn't look too bad. So yes, very lucky.
Yeah, mate. I think if I recall correctly, you made an overtake there at one stage during the race, and the car looked very, very nice as you came over the apex curb, and the car just rotated lovely. I commented that it was the car looked like you looked like you'd use the curb to rotate the car. How difficult is it to learn to, like, because I know myself that if I hit a curb whilst I'm turning the other direction, and I'm facing backwards to the racing line. How difficult is it to learn how to manage the car when it's on two wheels and you're really eager to get on throttle?
Yeah, I think it's this track really focuses in on how important it is to keep corner speed up and not get on the gas too much, because it's so bumpy. It is really tricky even without popping on the ripple strip. But this track you can make so much time by sort of exploiting the apexes on a few corners, and I think once you've got that brake bias right, you've got that method of trying to drive through the corner instead of braking right up to the apex, this track really starts to come to you. But it does take a bit, and it's a risky track, and over the weekend we've seen Van Gisbergen do what he did at Chicago, and you race here with brick walls and you go, man, I don't know how they do it in real life.
Yeah, especially when there's hardly any aero on those NASCAR apart from underneath the car, so you go over a bump and goodbye aerodynamics.
Yeah.
And that was one of the comments that Shane said, like, where they make the aero is so much different to the supercars. Mate, you've managed to head home a P2 and P3 for Quantum Pecky's, and you've actually got a double podium this round. So well done for that. How was it racing Joe in the first race?
Joe and I, we go way back. So I owe him a tap. From back at, I think it might have been Virginia at turn 1. And so we banter a bit about it outside of the race, but I knew it was always going to be tough with Joe, and I was surprised that I was staying on his tail, because in practice and quali he blitzed it. So no, I just sort of stayed there. I did have a go up the inside at turn 3, and I thought it was a bit of a dirty move. I thought I pushed him a bit wide, didn't give him enough track room, not realising that he ran a bit wide himself and into the tyres. And I was sort of, when we got onto the back straight, I was like, I spun it up and he was right on my tail, and I was like, you know what, just let him go. It's not that bad. I'll stay on his butt and see if I can get him to make a mistake. But no, he didn't. He pulled through. But no, always happy to go second behind Joe. He's a good racer, very quick.
Yeah, well, I think you can take bragging rights out of round 1. This, from my rough calculations, you should be taking the lead out of this round, so that's a round win for you overall.
Thank you.
So looking forward to next week to see you and Joe go toe-to-toe once again with wherever we are next week. I can't remember. The calendar is here. Interlagos next week. So super sprint format,
yeah.
3 20-minute races should be a lot of fun.
No, that'll be a bit of fun. It'll be fun. Hopefully, we don't have any start line hiccups like we did in race 2, which was very fortunate that I didn't get caught up in that, which I think was the lucky part of getting a podium in the second race tonight. But yeah, no, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. We've got a few of the Quantum Pecky performance guys in the league now, so we've got a bit of banter going on in Discord while we're racing, so it's good. Rattler sort of let me go past when I spun it up, and yeah, sort of we might have to have a chat about. I'm not sure he's happy that I'm giving him orders. But anyway, we'll see.
I think you can look at the championship right now. Look at the championship.
Yeah,
Is that your advantage potentially?
Yeah, good bunch of guys. This whole league is turning into something special. So, keep up the good work. You guys are doing amazing.
No, well, that's good, mate. I gave Scotty a chance to thank their sponsors, so I'll do the same to you. If there's any that he might have forgotten, just make sure you cap them all off.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Thanks, guys. Obviously, Quantum Tint Solutions, Becky's Performance Racing, West Oz Roof, Tim Nickel Photography. Who else we got on board? I think that's about it. But yeah, the wives and the partners of all us racers, you guys, Race Control, and the owners of the league. Thanks. We're having a blast.
Awesome, mate. Well done. We look forward to maybe seeing you on the podium next week at Interlagos. Go well, mate. Have some fun.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
That was Tim Nickel, P2, and by my calculations, round winner for this week. 2 P2 should be enough to secure that. But we will drag in our feature race winner, Liam Tipping, capping off a round clean sweep for Race on Oz.
It was like, right.
Oh.
We both tried to drag, and I think we dragged 2 people.
You drag.
Again.
Bit of a broadcast hiccup there. Liam, mate, welcome back to Victory Lane. Well done, bringing home a round sweep for Race on Oz. Mate, I want to ask you about that first restart. You pulled 4 seconds in a lap.
Yep.
What did you do differently?
I had it in my head that I was like, I just need to get him off. I need to get him by surprise on the restart. So as soon as Race Control just started saying the word green, I was into it. Like, just went, I think, just in that first straight, I think it was about 2.5 seconds, and then kept it clean for the rest of the lap.
And then you did pretty well on the second restart as well. You managed, not quite as well, but you did enough to give yourself a fairly decent gap, and then by then you just weren't headed. So it was I'm pretty sure it was another flag to flag victory. So that's ominous, given that the Race on Oz guys are you're both putting in some incredible efforts. What was it like running out the front of the pack? Like, did you have any issues with blue flags? Was it just pretty chill, just putting good laps and see where you end up? Bit of fuel save?
Nah, it was pretty chill. We decided pretty quick in both the safety cars that, being the way that this track is, that we didn't want to pit under safety car. We just wanted to be clean air. We didn't want to put ourselves back in traffic. So no real fuel saving or anything. It was just drive till the tank's empty and top her up. To be honest, I'd ripped myself off after quali, like P15. I was like, top 10 is probably the goal here. And I don't know, just got a good jump, and just I think the hot weather in the second race suited me a bit more. I think I just dealt with that a little bit better than the other guys maybe. But all in all, the second race was pretty uneventful, really.
Very nice, mate. How much work have you been putting in with Joe in the off season to get just a bit more comfortable running in this league and making sure that you're all ready to go and going well?
I'd say just a normal amount that we'd normally do for coming up to races and that. Me and Joe, we're sort of comfortable in the car that we can jump in and do an okay lap. It's just getting the finer points of each track and getting that last few tenths sort of thing. I know that I've been driving the supercar for a while on here, and Joe's pretty up with it as well, so we're pretty comfortable. It's just, yeah, tweaking setups and getting that last extra little bit.
Are you running any of the Scops or any other series outside of this one at the moment, or?
Not at the moment. Run a bit of F1 occasionally, but really the supercar's really all I'm doing at the moment. I feel like if I jump in other cars, it might slow me down in the supercar a bit as well. Just because it's such a unique car. It's, it's got its own way of driving it. Anything else is just going to be a completely different way of driving.
Yeah, definitely, mate. That's a differing sort of point of view, I think, to a lot of other drivers out here who are just here to have some fun. But to be as focused as you are on supercars and really putting all your effort into that, that's a really great effort, mate. So I commend you for that. I will give you a quick chance to thank all of your sponsors.
Yeah, so JTRT, thanks for being our big sponsor on the Racing Oz team. Gutter Night as well. I know they're our main sponsor for the esports and a minor sponsor for the regular team. And then we got BE Electrical, Solar, Pagnian, Gainsman, Ignition, Selby, all the sponsors from Race on Oz forums. The majority of them have been sponsoring us for a long time, and it's really good to have them on board.
I just want to say well done again. That caps off a clean sweep for the Race on Oz guys. So well done to both of you. Definitely you for taking home the feature win tonight and by a pretty comfortable margin in the end. We're off to Interlagos next week. I know that some leagues and supercars been there in the past, and I can imagine it'll be a pretty fun track for the supercars. Lots of high-speed corners, so lots of throttle control and trail braking. Have you done much running around Interlagos recently?
Not recently, but the corners at Interlagos I feel are kind of more similar to the Nürburgring GP, which is one of my stronger tracks. I like those sort of nice trail braking flowing corners, so hopefully me and Joe will be pretty strong there.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week, and hopefully charging you away back to victory lane once again. Go well this week. Put all the practice in, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Congratulations, mate.
Cheers.
I was here this whole time, I promise you.
That's all right. I didn't know what I was going to say, to be honest, because I hadn't even thought of it. P15 in quali, I was like, oh well, let's just see what happens. But I don't know.
Bring on next week.
Yeah.
You're as excited to see next week as ShiBBy.
Yeah, I'd properly written off the race after quali. I was like, oh geez, and then I dropped back to 17th off the start of the first race. I had a shocker, and then I was like, I think a couple of guys had incidents, put a couple of moves in, and I was like, oh, okay, be front row. I was like hoping to maybe just hold the guys up so Joe could get through, but don't know, I suppose maybe the heat or something, but the car switched on. It felt really good in the second race.
We called it during the broadcast in the race tonight that anything can happen in the AMs.
Yeah, I feel like top 15 guys really in that race were all had the pace to win. I think it's going to be a real close season. I think even in practice the top 10 was like a 10th in it or something like that, so pretty much everyone's got the ability to win at the moment.
Oh yeah, mate, it's going to be great. But yes, we will see you again next week, same place, same bat channel, mate. So congratulations on the win tonight, mate. And,
yeah, cheers, boys.
Get that practice in, and yeah, we'll see you back here again next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Might go and have a well-earned beer, I reckon.
Sounds delicious.
Cheers.
See you, mate. Well, Thomas, that was one great way to kick off season 3 of 2023 of our simrigs.com V8 Supercars AM series. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools, mate. I am just as pumped as everybody else must be to see this series through with so many drivers signed up and ready to race, and more turning up every day asking if they're able to race as well, mate. So we are pumped. Congratulations to all our drivers out on track tonight. Thank you so much for turning up and putting on such a great show for us all. I do want to give our last and final shout outs tonight for all our sponsors that help Sim Racing World put on this awesome racing for our drivers. Of course, simrigs.com for all your simrigs needs. Warren and Brown Tools, over 40 years experience, and Australian-made products and owned company. Racecraft simulations for our fastest lap and qualifying. Of course, Grim Industries, home of the V8 coffee table. Tempting sweets for those sweet, sweet treats. Rare Spares, and of course Shannon's. Those two have just come on board. There will be a big launch for both of them, so thank you so much for Rare Spares and Shannon's for coming on board as well to help out grow this awesome league that we are working our butts off behind the scenes to keep putting on this beautiful racing for everyone. I have been Nathan ShiBBy Howard, and the guy next to me has been
Thomas Preech Riley. That's Preech with 2 E's.
It is with 2 E's.
Apparently to ShiBBy.
Oh, did I spell it with 1 E again?
You've been spelling it with with 2 E's for the entirety of last season on the broadcast, and I've just been letting it slide. It is not. It is Preech with EA, not 2 E's.
Oh, mate, everybody gets a nickname from me, whether it be by accident or not. It always seems to happen. I see you've changed it in Discord, though, to Match, which is great.
Yeah, I changed that after round 1.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. That's
No
so
worries. No worries.
I was never fixing it after that. But we look forward to seeing you all back here next Tuesday night. But a quick rundown of what is happening this week, which is something I need to update everybody. So tomorrow night, we have the Shannon's Formula 3 Nationals. This is our Formula 3 series that has 35 drivers registered. It is going to be an absolute kicker. That will kick off at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Thursday night is our Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals. That will kick off 8 o'clock Thursday night. And then we will also be back Sunday night for our Simrigs V8 Supercars Pro-Am series. So if you aren't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the notifications bell so you know when we go live every time. We have had an absolute blast here tonight. Can't wait to see you all back next week. And I'm going to end this stream by saying, I've totally forgot what I used to say. It was something like, stay safe and race hard.